so sorry about all these car vlogs. I've been so busy and I look like crap. Like, I just got done with work. I have no makeup on. I have like hat head hair. I'm just a mess right now. So I know I said I'd update you guys on Friday about what happened in my follicle scan, and I just didn't, because honestly, like, I had to go right back to work and it was awful. I know I said like, oh, I wasn't worried about it because the nurses did my follicle scans before and they were fine, but this one was so bad, you guys. I walked in and, like, first of all, they literally like forgot that I had an appointment to start. So that's how everything started. So they were like, oh, do you have an appointment? I'm like, yeah, you know, Friday at 1:30. Like, they told me I'd be seeing the nurses, like the whole shebang. They knew I was coming. So I think that's why everything was so awful, because they were like squeezing me in and there was only one nurse working. And the nurse came out to get me, and as soon as I saw this lady's face, I was like, you got to be kidding me. This lady, like, no. She is like the worst nurse in the clinic. She's the one, I don't know if you guys remember from the videos, like I called a few days after I had ovulated, like my first cycle, and I think it's just because I didn't have, you know, mature enough eggs or whatever, but anyways, I was spotting, so I called to see if I could get some progesterone support, and she just kept saying, I don't think it's your period, I don't think it's your period, and I was like, no, shit, Sherlock, I know it's not my period, thank you. Like, you know, I explained the whole thing. I'm like, I think I just need some luteal phase support. Like, and she was just not getting it. Like, she just kept telling me, I don't think it's your period. Like, anyways, I did have a good history with this lady, and I was like, this is gonna be fun. So she takes me back and, like, puts the wand in, and honestly, you guys, like, can't even find my uterine lining for a minute. And I'm like, how hard is it to find my uterine lining and measure it when you're using a transvaginal probe? Like, you're right there. Hello. Like, this is not that hard. So anyway, she finally finds it and measures it. And then, like, after she does that, then she starts looking for my ovaries. And they have been kind of hard to find this cycle, so I will give her that. But let me tell you what a 3-ring circus that was. She was driving that thing like it was a race car in my vajayjay, and it was awful. Like, I never complain during scans. I don't make noise. Like, I just kind of, like, might move my hips a little bit or wince like a tiny bit, you know, because towards the end everything starts to get uncomfortable because, you know, whatever, like, everything is twice as big as it normally is. Like, your ovaries are kind of sore. For me, anyway. I don't know. So she tries to find, like, my left ovary, which she really can't do, and then she's pushing and pushing, and I'm in so much pain about to jump off the table, and then she finally finds it. And when she finally finds it, literally, like, that's the side that had the 2 large follicles that were growing beautifully together. Like, they were both almost 14s, and once she finds it, like, barely gets a glimpse of it and, like, freezes it with a snapshot with the ultrasound probe, which once you find the ovary, and you guys know this, like, they usually manipulate around it a little bit to try to get a better view of the follicles. Well, she barely gets a freeze, you know, like a freeze of it, and then she measures, she says, I only have 1 follicle over there now. And I'm like, how does a almost 14 millimeter follicle just completely disappear? Like, that is insane to me, you guys. Like, that does not happen. Like, I understand if they're smaller, like, the lead follicle will take over, but when they get to be that big, like, in my experience, they just keep growing together in symmetry. So, whatever. So I was really annoyed with her about that. And then she goes over to my right side, to which I had an almost 14 over there as well, and that was measuring a 15. And she had a really hard time finding the right side too. So anyway, she took me in the consult room, was talking to me, and she, like, told me one thing in the room. Like, she was like, okay, well, you'll trigger on Sunday. And then when she brought me into the room, told me, like, okay, we'll take your follow stim again tomorrow, which would be Saturday morning for me, and then you will be triggering Saturday night between 6 and 8 p.m. And I was like, hold on, wait. I was like, you told me in there, like, I would be triggering on Sunday. Sorry, I guess this is getting really shaky. And then now you're telling me to trigger, like, Saturday between 6 and 8 p.m. Like, because I had only gone from 13s and 14s to what she was measuring to be 15s, almost 16s, from Wednesday to Friday. So I was really, you know, I told her, I was monitoring for him. There's no one, like, you can't call him, nothing. And she was like, oh no, like, we don't do that. And I'm like, lady, come on, like, you obviously don't know what you're doing. You tell me one thing in the room, bring me in the other room, and, like, tell me something else, and then, you know, you expect me to, like, trust what you're telling me, and you're mismeasuring and can't find my ovaries, and you're the one making my treatment plan? Like, I was freaking out, you guys. Like, I was really upset, you know, because this is our last cycle before IVF, and obviously, you know, it might work, but I don't want it to not work because you're an idiot, you know? So, I don't know, that's not a nice thing to say, you guys. I shouldn't say things like that about people, but it's just so frustrating. And, like, I called my husband, and, like, I talked to him about it, and he was like, yeah, he's like, that's total BS, that lady doesn't know what she's talking about. Go back there and, like, demand to be, you know, have another scan done on, you know, Saturday or Sunday. And so I drove back to the clinic, but by the time I drove back there, like, the lady called me back, because I had, you know, called the clinic in the meantime to say, I'm coming back, like, I'm really uncomfortable with this. So anyways, I got that nurse again, because, and that's when I found out she was the only one working. And so, you know, I just again expressed for my concerns, and I was like, we've just been through a lot, and, you know, like, this is it for us, like, this is our last try, and I just want to make sure that they're going to be ready. And she was like, okay, well, you can come back in Sunday morning, and I will rescan you, because she said the shot you took today won't take effect until tomorrow, which will be Saturday, and then Saturdays won't really take effect until Sunday, is what she told me. So they're going to keep growing. She's like, I'm sure they will be mature by Sunday morning. And I was like, okay, well, will another nurse be doing my scan, or another doctor or anything? And she was like, oh no, it'll be me. And so, sorry, I just went over some big bumps. So at that point, I just called my husband back, and I was like, look, this lady is the only person working. Like, I'm just going to go back in Sunday and she's going to rescan me, and she's already told me to trigger, so she's just going to tell me Sunday, no matter what it looks like, to trigger, and I'm going to go through that horrible experience of being in pain and her not knowing what she's doing and stressing me out. And so I was like, I don't really think we should do it. And he was like, yeah, I agree. He's like, I don't think we should do it. Like, there's really no point, especially if we're not going to get a different person. So anyways, I called back and I canceled that appointment, and we just decided, like, whatever, we're just going to go with it. And I was going over and over in my mind, like, should I trigger Saturday evening, like they said, or trigger Sunday morning? And my husband came home. He worked overtime, so I got home really late, and we were talking about it, and he's like, just do it. Like, it was midnight on Saturday, so basically Sunday morning. And he's like, what time were you going to take your trigger? And I was like, well, I was going to take it around the time where I normally took my Follicle. And he was like, really? You're talking about 5 hours? He's like, honestly, that is not going to make a difference either way. Either they're ready or they're not. And I was like, yeah, you know. So he kind of brought me down from my crazy estrogen high that I was on, and, you know, just basically, like, relax. What do we have to lose? Like, nothing has worked so far. If this doesn't work again, we're going to do IVF, and that's that. So, and he was right. You know, like, what do we have to lose? And what's the difference anyway? So Saturday at midnight, I took my trigger, which I was going to let my husband do, but honestly, when he got near me with that needle, you guys, I started freaking out, and I couldn't let him poke me, so I poked myself, and then I let him, like, push the plunger and finish everything. That's how much of a control freak I am, you guys. I'm crazy. So, anyways, yeah, triggered, and then we BB'd Sunday, like Sunday afternoons. We were both home together, and then Monday I was at work, and it was kind of like halfway through the afternoon, and I'm like, I'm not feeling any cramping or anything yet. Like, maybe I'm not going to ovulate, maybe they weren't ready. You know, I started getting all these crazy thoughts, and yeah, so anyways, about an hour or so after that, like, I just prayed, and I was like, please God, please make me ovulate. And yeah, I started having all this cramping, and I was even having back pain, which is so weird. I've never had that with ovulation before, but I was feeling some stuff. And so I'm pretty sure I ovulated yesterday afternoon. I went home, we BD'd again before I went to bed, and I just went to sleep. still nothing today, so I'm sure ovulation is done. And I don't think we're gonna BD again tonight, you guys. Like, this process has just taken a toll on us, and we're just tired. And honestly, I just don't feel like it. And I feel like we've covered our bases with the day before ovulation and the day of ovulation. And the egg doesn't live that long anyways, so it's not really gonna do us that much good. So yeah, we're just hoping for the best. And you know, like, I'm excited and hopeful a little bit, but honestly, I'm not really banking on this working. If it did, it would be a wonderful miracle and gift from God, and I will take it. So yeah, I am almost home, and I'm so tired. I think we're gonna go out to eat and just relax for a little bit and forget about this stuff until 2 weeks from now. I'm not gonna test, I don't think, until like 14 or 15 days past trigger. And that's it. So thanks for watching. I'm so sorry I didn't update on Friday, and I'm sorry for the video quality, and I'm sorry for the shakiness. But yeah, so I will talk to you guys later. Bye guys.